Hello and welcome to DualiTea. I'm your host Akasha and I am here with Lori Love. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me back.
Of
I'm like
course.
so honored.
You're the first reoccurring guest, you know?
Am I?
Yes, you are.
Stop it. You're
Yes,
gonna make
you
me
are.
cry now.
No.
You trying to put
We
me
everyone's
down.
trying to cry. This what is
It's an
it?
emotional morning, but like a good emotion.
Good emotional.
Not like a heavy emotion.
Happy
like a
emotional.
happy emotional.
Absolutely. I agree.
Can you hear me?
Are we good? Mic check. Yeah. Cool. So
I seen D. Hey D.
hey,
Good morning.
Good morning, Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your patience. You know, when I go rogue for like 2 weeks at a time, happens probably every 2 months, I'd say.
I think that's the Gemini side in you.
Yeah,
Like
I just like
to
Irish
take
go
a little
by.
bit.
I'll
We
come
just
back.
need to.
I'm like, I'll be back though.
That's recalibrating. That's the topic.
Recalibration, which we're here to talk about recalibration and what that means in many different aspects. You know, recalibration, you could think about it like, you know, when you had the Wii remote and you need to recalibrate it, you would flip it upside down or like, and then it'll be like bloop, 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 bloop. And then it's like, it just needs to like find
sound effects
itself,
for me.
you know? It needs to like find its order, its center again, you know? So it's not like, it's not as extreme as a rebirth. It's not as extreme as a, you know, recycle. It's not like these other re's. I feel like it's a lot more subtle and it's done with more consciousness than I feel like anything else because it takes, it's like a fine tuning, you
That's
know?
exactly what it is.
Like when you're like tuning an instrument and you're listening, like you can still play the instrument if it's out of tune, but like when
It's not
you
necessarily a bad thing to recalibrate. It's just taking the time, being aware, like, hold up, maybe this could run a little bit better.
It's
Maybe
like
I can be
focusing.
running a little bit better. How can I tweak this? How can I go back to source, go back to myself and figure out how can I move better?
For sure. And it's just like it's a little adjustment. And I do feel like it comes from this much more like conscious and like grounded space than other rewords. And it's like it's pretty cool because you get to just like look at something and be like, hey, I want to just turn it just a little bit. I want to just change it just a little bit because I feel like it'll be in more of alignment. You know, like when you adjust your hair, you adjust something on you. You're like, oh, like I like this shirt, but you know, if I just adjust it a little bit,
We were literally recalibrating ourselves as
this
just that little fine tuning, just that little bit of attention, little bit. I feel like that's like my catchphrase. Just that little bit of love and that little bit of fine tuning
just a little
to
bit.
just make things work better and go easier, go so I want to go back. Wait, I want to go to the definition, right? The definition that you posted.
Let's go to the root.
Right? Let's go straight to the root. And it said to using it to like as a standard, like measuring something up to a standard to get it to be of a certain efficiency, right? So I think what's important when recalibrating anything, your phone, yourself, your person, your machinery, your tools that you use, anything, is to really put your intention into what's the standard you're trying to follow. You don't want to be following a standard that's not in alignment with what you want to do or society standard, something that really doesn't serve your higher self and your purpose or what you want to do in your life. So I think it's really important while recalibrating to focus on what are you measuring up to? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like what's the standard?
What's the baseline? What is your intention? What is your I don't know the word right now, but I know the feeling, and it's like what am I doing? What I'm doing this for? You know, and integrity is the word.
That is.
Where is my integrity? Yeah. Integrity. That's the word. And I don't know what you pointed to. But,
Heavy on the crown energy.
oh, okay.
Integrity.
I was like,
We
wait.
have our
I was like,
bowls
there's a
sitting
few things. I was like, well, like.
Definitely heavy on the integrity and what are you doing it for, the reason behind it, and what's the standard, what is the code, and it looks different for everybody. That's the most beautiful part, is that it really looks different for everybody. My standard isn't the same as yours. My way of life and how I want to live my life may not be the same as yours, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's needed because we need to have these different ways in which the different ways in which we go about things, because each person is different and is required to, not required, but more hopefully able to do, live in that embodiment of whatever their medicine is. And that's going to look and feel different, even if it's similar. Even if you uphold a similar state of integrity or a baseline, it's going to come out differently with everybody. So it's super important to know what your baseline is, because even if it sounds similar to someone else's, it's not. Like,
It's still a little different.
it's still a little bit.
Just
a little bit.
That phrase goes to so many. It applies to so much. Just a little bit.
For sure, for sure. So, we know that you had one away for a little bit, and from the scene in general, like
Even before my road trip, I just came back from a family road trip, for those who don't know or follow me. And it was 2.5 weeks. I feel like it felt like a month and a half.
I feel like
In
it felt like
reality,
a month and a half.
It was really only 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
2 weeks and like
so
a
we
a
took
few
the
days.
same break real quick. Only I was here
It
though.
felt
Yeah.
so long though.
Yeah.
Traveling with 2 children, love my babies, my fur baby, my dog, and my partner, who is also a baby in his own right. It was a lot doing a long road trip. I was telling you the other day, and I want to share with everybody listening, that usually vacation, you always see like the great videos and the great pictures, and it's like, oh, they're so happy that everything was so great, everything was so perfect. And that's like society kind of like brainwashed us to see a smiling picture and only see the smiles, you know what I'm saying, and only think about the smiles, and think of a road trip, like how annoying and frustrating can a road trip be, and what kind of problems and obstacles and situations come up, that it's not always 100% happiness and great emotion. But on this trip, it was really great to feel all of those emotions, and to really take a step back and recognize it and see it. So to be able to have that, like, that's a part of bringing it full circle. That's a part of recalibrating, because I was able to put myself in not only happy situations and environment, right? Like having vacation and playing and having family quality time, but also super stressful and super anxiety packed kind of range of emotions with traveling and long distance.
That's a part of traveling.
And having my dog with me. And
That's a whole other element.
All the chaosness of the kids on the road trip, So I was able to see how I am in those situations and recalibrate just by tweaking how I maybe reacted, or how I looked at the situation, or finding gratitude in those moments where in other moments that might not have been the case. I might have been frustrated to the point of losing my cool. So to be able to take that trip, be on the road for so long, really have all these wide range of emotions, from happy to sadness, to sadness of leaving family and having to come back to reality, to frustration, to anxiety, to all these things, to being sleep deprived, and being able to tweak how I react to them. That's right there for me. That was recalibrating. That's like the essence of recalibrating, and that was the first time I was able to do so as an adult, like with all these experiences that some of my followers know I've been on this past year or two. It's just really interesting to see how far I've come, and to see how I still can make those little tweaks, those little adjustments, to keep improving and to keep going.
It just reminded me, like, that whole statement reminded me of, like, the fuse box, in the house.
Like a house electric.
Yeah, it's like, you don't realize that one of them needs to be, like, tweaked or something until, like, the light goes out or something because it's taking too much, and then it shows a sign, and then that sign you go
Blows the whole house
downstairs
out.
and you gotta you gotta look at which one's not in alignment, and then you fine tune, you recalibrate, and then but you don't just put it forward, you shut off, put it on, you know, and
You have
it's
to
just
test.
like
You almost have to test the waters just a
Yeah.
little bit. Test it just a little.
but like, and even just taking that, like when you were speaking, I felt like it was almost like you were opening up the fuse box and just looking at which one's in the middle. You know what I mean? Which ones
Which ones are a little off?
Yeah.
And just click it.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's
so,
exactly what it was.
and you know, and so and thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing about the other aspect of vacation that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
You know,
My
like
moms know what I'm talking about for sure, because it may be a vacation, and you know we do a lot of things for our kids and for our family on vacation. So most of the time, I mean, I really can only speak for myself, but I think a lot of people will relate when I say that as a parent, when you travel on vacation with your kids, it's a little bit of work, because you know you want to do everything for your kids to enjoy themselves and to have a great trip, and for your family. So it definitely was like, it was balanced. It was everything I needed, to be honest. It was that little bit of all the good stuff and just that little bit of the frustration and the bad stuff to really like put me on point, to let me know what I need to do moving
Well,
forward.
it brings the balance, and then you leave it wherever you got it, you know,
Exactly.
and it's a part of the road trip and the journey, you know, and the things that come up, they come up for a reason. I know, even for myself, I had just went on vacation with my mom in Jamaica, and majority of the time it was great. We were getting along, but there was a few things that came up and that we got to actually like. You know, we had our moment where like she went back to the hotel room and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to the speakeasy. I'll be back. And she's like, wait, no, I'm scared. I don't want you to be by yourself. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to be by myself long anyway. I was just going to have this smoke and I'm going to come back. And then I went back and like we talked about it.
You
know,
unpacked.
we get to talk about it. And like these little moments where it's like, you get to talk about what is upsetting you, you know, and when you're like in this environment that you're not used to, and like all these things are different, things are they're bound to come up. You know, there's uncomfortabilities that come with traveling, whether it's via plane or car, you know, different things that come up, comfort levels. You get to see how long does it take for someone to get so antsy that we need to pull over, or, you know, how is a person when they're flying? Are they really anxious? Are they like, how are they, you know? And so it's really interesting to also observe ourselves as well as others when we go on vacation, because we get to see like what actually triggers people and what brings them peace.
Yes.
You get to see both spectrums
Yes.
to such a in such a drastic way. Like you're here, you're in bliss, you're on this vacation, and then but what are you like before you get there? You know, so it's a good thing. It's a good way to see the true colors in all people, especially if it's like new people in your life. You know, you can definitely see
Even ones my family,
even ones
who've
that
been
you say
around
for a long time. Yeah, for sure.
Still, certain situations trigger something different,
And
you
every
know?
age triggers something different.
Yes,
Too.
definitely.
Like, so you can be on vacation with people for years. Like, you don't go for a while, you go again. It's gonna be completely different.
Definitely, that was the case with my dog, my fur baby. I traveled with him on a road trip with my eldest son years ago, and you okay, babe?
Yeah, I'm just choking on tea. Don't mind me. I'm like, I just felt it come. I was like, why am I gonna do this? Not now, not live. Like, I'm just gonna choke on this tea. Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
To see Rocco this trip, and my youngest son now, because this is his first road trip with our dog. It was cool to see. Like, Rocco was cool. He was like hanging on the top, and in my rear view, I posted a picture of him earlier. He was just so cool, man. The kids to see.
It was the pictures of Rocco in the rear view. Like, it's
life,
just like
yo.
by the pool, you know, all these different
living
spots.
his life, living his best
Rocco's
life.
so
It was
cute.
so great to see, like, all the tired, all the anxious, all the preparation, all the work, because it's work. Like, y'all don't really understand. I was on vacation, but it was work. It was work for me. Especially, you know, I'm still healing. So it was like, I had to like, not hype myself up, but yeah, kind of had to like hype myself up. Like, all right, we're going to do this. You know, I was a little nervous sitting for so long in the car since after my surgery and healing and stuff. So I had to like prepare for the work, but to see, oh, pardon me, but to see it pay off. It paid off in my kids' smiles. It paid off in the memories. The way my youngest son keeps going through pictures like, Ma, look at how cute Rocco looked in the car, and things that you know that it's gonna leave a lasting impression, and they're gonna remember it. And also on the trip, to bring it full circle back to the topic, to see the way my eldest kind of he suffers with anxiousness and sometimes gets a little down, and he's an introvert. So to see him break out of his shell and recalibrate and know, like, I prepared him, like, hey, we're going on this long trip. We're going to be in the car. We're going to be around family. You know, it's been a while since we've been around a lot of people with 2020 going, you know, and quarantine and stuff. So to see him recalibrate, like, he's 11 years old, to see him say, okay, I know this might, like, those social interactions might give me a little anxiety, so I'm gonna do, you know what he said? And usually he'd be the one to stay in his room and to just, like, not even really mess with anybody. Like, it's a party, I ain't even gonna mess with it. That's fine. That's him. I want him to feel safe and comfortable in any situation. I would never want to put him in a situation where he doesn't feel that. So to see him say, okay, no, I know this is family. I know I'm not going to see them in a while, or I may not get this opportunity again. He recalibrated himself to say, all right, I'm going to come out the room once every 1.5 to 2 hours and come see everybody and come back for a few minutes. And I'm going to head right on back to my corner. But for him to, like, take that initiative, I didn't tell him to do that. I said, babe, go where you're comfortable. You want to be in the room? Go do that. If, you know, when grandma and them come, you come out, respect, show love, and go do your thing. You know, like, I'm not gonna. It's his vacation too. I want him to enjoy himself.
Yeah, no,
but to see him take the initiative to be like, no, I'm gonna come out, and he did it like clockwork every hour.
He knew what he knew what he liked, like what he could manage. That's great.
On the hour, he came out. Hey, went right on back to his spot, and then, like, but he took the initiative to recalibrate himself.
Yeah.
To say, how can I maneuver and guide myself through this new situation, through this new phase that I'm in right now with this vacation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just amazing to see.
I think it's also amazing to see and hear how you allow your son and your family and people around you to just be themselves and create that safe environment for them to do that. Because if you didn't also create that space, he might have not felt comfortable to even do that for himself. So I want to just, give you a little credit too, because, it's important, the things that moms and family members and people do behind the scenes. It's important for you to get acknowledged for that, because it's not an easy task, to relinquish control and surrender to what is and love them as they are. It's very difficult, but the fact that you can do that and bring grace into it, and then look at what happens. Your son felt like he was able to, manage it a little more, and felt like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna find a way so I can be out there, but also recalibrate when I need to, and then go back,
overload.
Too much social interaction, I'm gonna head back in.
He broke out of his shell.
That's so beautiful.
Seeing him run around with his cousins, and not even just on his dad's side of the family, but my side of the family too. It was beautiful, yo. It was literally everything we all needed, even down to Rocco, even down to the dog. We all needed that trip. So I'm really blessed to be able to take that trip, to be able to see both sides of the family, to even be here to witness it. Yeah. So I'm just really thankful for it all. Thank you for acknowledging me too.
Of course, love. It's important. I feel like when you see those moments in people too, it's important to shine light on it, Yeah, recalibration is so important. I do this thing too with the podcast where I'll be doing the podcast, and then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I feel like I need to just not do the podcast for a week or two. And I just want to say thank you for all those who understand and have compassion for those moments when I am doing that, because sometimes I just need to recalibrate, and that's really all it is. And I'm a whole human being. I can't be pumping out podcasts every 5 seconds. As much as I'd like to be consistent every single week and do it every week, I feel like I do pretty well with it. And then every so often I'm like, you know what? Let me just I'm not feeling it right now, you know? And like when I'm feeling it, it's like Kenny always knows. It's mad funny. He always knows when I'm not gonna come in. I'll be like, hey, he'll be like, yeah, I know. I'm like, all right, I'll see you next week. You know, it's like, he always the vibes when I'm not gonna come in, because it's like, I'm not going to come and do something because I feel like I need to, because I said I'm going to do it every week, or I'm going to try to do my best to do it every week. I want to do it when it feels right, you know?
That is a very big part of recalibrating, because your phone, think about it in a machine sense, or in a tangible, instead of just our bodies. Like, think of a phone, right? Your phone is still going to work whether you recalibrate the measurement or the compass, right? Sometimes you have to recalibrate that, or your camera or something. Like, it's still going to work, but is it going to work to its best ability? Is it going to be efficient? Is it going to really do the job that you might need it to do?
And then sometimes it might skip and lag because you didn't give it a time to rest.
That time.
Think about it too. Like, honestly, here's a thought. You know, let's shut our phones off. Because remember once upon a time when we had other phones, how we would let them die and then we would shut them off and charge them with their off. When's the last time you shut your phone off?
I've been doing that lately.
That's great. I have not.
It's so freeing.
I need to do it. Liberating. I'm telling myself this, and anyone else who needs to hear it, shut your phone off, because, you know, they need it too. That's their recalibration. They need to sleep. They're not sleeping. They need to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with us? We just need the phone on 24/7 all the time? Like, we just like, I mean, not considering the little AI, little iRobot, little people in our freaking phones.
Make time and space for them too.
Yeah. I'm not about to get into what I was thinking about. I'm like, I'm not even gonna do it today. Not today. We could talk about AI another day. You know, they know, we know, whatever. Anyway. There's this book. We can get into it another time. But yeah, shut your phones off. Unplug your Alexas. That's for a different reason. But make sure you do that too.
Sips tea, I like it. Ended on that note.
Recalibration. So back to that before my success.
How do you recalibrate? Question for you.
Okay, how do I recalibrate? It depends on what I need recalibration from. So, like, for example, when it's a podcast, I'll take some time off. I even been taking some time off of social media. Like, I've been posting here and there, but not like how I used to. I feel like how I recalibrate is I become a little bit more private with things.
That hermit shell.
Yeah. So it's like, even if I am posting, I'm doing something, I'm not, I'll post things after they happen, you know, like if I'm recalibrating, I'm not keeping things, I'm not keeping up with showing things. I'm just doing them.
You're living in the moment.
Yeah. And it's like, and recalibrating other ways. I go to nature, which means going into myself. We are nature, you know, and then also going outside. Like, it always happens and aligns that, like, when I need to recalibrate, I end up having to go upstate to my elder's house, and it's like really nice and just like fresh air and a lot of trees and space and land and animals and family and energy, and that's always really good because it's very disconnected. You have barely any service up there.
So that makes it easier.
Yeah. And it's like, even like, to be honest, it's either I'm on my phone or I'm not on my phone at all. Like, that's how I am as a person. Like, I'll be on my phone, like, because I have to do something, or because I'm on my phone, or my phone is somewhere, like.
That's how I've been. My phone is just somewhere.
It's just somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's really just about disconnecting from electronics and reconnecting to
disconnecting from everything else. I think
just like dirt,
and just connecting to yourself.
Yeah, just give me dirt. Like, I need dirt in my nails. That's how I recalibrate. I need to smell like earth. Like, I need to roll around in dirt, and then I'm recalibrated. And cleaning
helps too.
Cleaning is a really good recalibration. Cleaning and also accounting for what you have, like inventory, is a good recalibration. And that's like everything. Like, what do I have inventory wise in my physical world? What do I have inventory in my mental, my emotional, my spiritual?
I like that one.
It's a really good recalibration. I've been doing that mentally, emotionally, spiritually a lot, and now I'm like moving into the more physical of like taking inventory. Like, all right, I have 5 things of the same pasta. I don't need to buy that no more. Like, you know, I got 4 dries of sauce. I don't need to get that. I got 5 bags of beans. Don't need that. You know, it's like, now I know because I looked and I recalibrated. Recalibrated, adjusted, took account. I don't know. There's a bunch of different words you could use for that, but it's a part of my recalibration process as well as like, yeah, just my form of prayer, you know, which changes at times. You know, sometimes it's more like candle prayer based. Like, I just make sure I have a time of day. I've been doing this thing where I've been stretching in the morning and praying while I'm stretching. That's been like my new thing. Very new. Very like it.
Very like it. That makes me very like it.
Yeah, I like it. It's really good. You know, okay, something that my therapist said to me, she was like, you know, you're so used to fluctuating from these 2 extremes. You're either doing everything or you're not doing anything because you're the overwhelm of all the things you need to do. So why don't you start, you know, use this experiment. Why don't you start stretching? Funny enough, I've been talking about stretching so much recently and in general because when you're stretching, like anytime I do anything, I'm always talking about stretching. When I go back to the base of anything, it's always about stretching. Like if I've ever sat with any kind of medicine or anything at all, even if it's like simply like herb, like I am always stretching. I'm talking about stretching and how important stretching is. That's like always one of the most prophetic things I take back. I'll have like a serious like journey with mushrooms or like praying and working with them, and like I'll come back, I'm like, I need to stretch. That's the message I got. Like it'll be so simple, you know what I mean? You know, and it's true because it's like this in between where you're moving but it's slow and it does a lot more for your mental than we give it credit for. So in the morning, I like to pray to say what I'm grateful for and stretch.
That's nice. That's how I end my day. Not with the stretching. I need to get back into that. Heavy. I need to get back into
this
the
is
moving.
like 2 days.
But it's new. It's that new.
That new.
But that's nice. That's a nice routine to get into. Nice recalibration, a little tweak to your usual prayer.
Exactly.
You know, to your usual
I usually
schedule.
do things at night too, so I've been bringing that into the morning.
At night, that's nice to start the day with that. That's actually, I really like that. I may take that.
Do that if it resonates. Yeah, for sure. And any of y'all that it resonates with, go ahead, take that into your practice. Do that. You know what I'm saying? I'll own that. That was fine.
I end the day with gratitude. Throughout the day, I always try to find something, whether I'm in a frustrated mode or happy mode. I try to find something I'm thankful for out of every situation. Every second, I'm like, okay, well, I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for this.
What's some
right
things
now.
you're thankful for
Right now?
Right
this
now.
tea is everything. This new background. Look at how sleek this is.
Chic and
the
sleek.
energy I have, the energy with you to have heart, to have crown, to have our bowls. I'm thankful for a lot right now, to be able to sit here, to have my socks on and my shoes off.
You're so cute.
Like, I'm thankful for a lot. And that really is what gets me through the day.
Yeah.
And how I can recalibrate on that sense. Like, I'm always grateful, right? I try to find gratitude in every moment. How I can take what you just said and recalibrate it and bring it into my own world and tweak my own thing is to start the day that way. That's not usually the first thing I think about. Usually the first thing I think about is what I have to do, all the things I have to get done. I have to do this.
That's how we forget our dreams.
I try to bring it back at the end of the day, but to start it, now I'm going to move forward and do that. I just recalibrated my own way.
And keep a little notebook too, because in case
I do keep a notebook. You told me that a while ago.
And like, so with the dreams, because if you don't jot it down right away, anybody who forgets their dreams, keep a notebook. You know,
I highly recommend that.
Yeah, because then, but once we start thinking about all the things that we need to do, then we're like, we forget, you know, what we dreamt about once we start getting in that way. So it's important.
And you forget those little details.
There's some messages in there. But yeah.
Girl, yes. What are you thankful for right now? What are you grateful for?
You said a lot, so I don't want to repeat the same thing. So I'm going to say all the things that you said. Like, I want to also say I'm grateful for all of these things. I'm very grateful for you. Excuse me. I'm very grateful for like your willpower and the fact that like when you want to get something done, you get it done. No excuses. Like sis dead ass drove to Manhattan to pick up.
Shout out to Jenny
Heart.
because she helped
Shout
make
out
that
to
happen.
Jenny. Shout out to Lori. Literally driving to Manhattan to pick up Heart Chakra before this whole episode. We have Heart. Heart has returned. It's so funny with these bowls because it's always someone doing something. Like it's like Nicole sending an Uber. It's somebody.
Heart is getting like pick up, drop off service.
Yeah, Heart got like picked up, went to Manhattan. Crown just came from Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like
And
these.
Solar from Arizona.
Oh my, yes.
These bowls are out here. These bowls are living life.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
We need a whole podcast on the bowls.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it and a photo shoot. So stay tuned
Stay tuned for that.
for that.
There's recalibration in
They're
the works.
recalibrating. Remember,
They're
that's
doing
like
their
the.
own thing.
I feel like that's the whole thing too with them. Like when everything was like happening, like the word that kept on coming up was recalibration. They need to be recalibrated. So it's a recalibration time, guys, for ourselves and for the bowls and for all these things. I really look like an anime character in this view. That's crazy. I just can't even. It doesn't even look like my hair. Don't even look real here. That's crazy. But yeah,
I love it.
shout out to the hair witch. Shout out to Zoe. You know,
Did
she
you think
finessed my hair, and she's also mad dope and really grateful to meet you and to have your art on my head. Pretty cool.
That's also a part of recalibrating for me is like changing like my look up. Yes. So, like I don't know if it's a Gemini thing or a girl thing or like just a me thing. But like when I'm like so I have these phases where I literally just had this phase and going through it and still transitioning through it. But I go into my hermit shell where I'm just literally, I take a step back and I disconnect from everything and everyone. And it's not personal to anybody who's in my inbox right now that I didn't answer back. I'm sorry. I apologize, but also I'm not sorry because I needed to take that time for myself to go inward and to spend that time with my family and recalibrate my thoughts on how to move forward. But usually when I do that, I do something crazy, like with my hair or my look or my wardrobe or just something, just that little bit of tweak to be like, all right, this, not it's the new me, but it's like the improved
2.0.
me. It's the 2.0, you know? So I always come back with, like, that's literally been a reoccurring theme in my life. I'm just putting it together.
Without a doubt.
And you did the same thing.
I do the same thing. I always do it.
You took your 2 weeks and you came back multicolored hair.
Yeah, Lisa Frank edition. Remix, yeah. No, for sure. It's like, it's that, it's tattoos, it's piercings.
Oh,
it's something with appearance. It's something with appearance.
Watching, I'm coming soon.
Word. I'm like, I was thinking about my episode. I was going to say my episode. My session. It's in December. I was debating. I was like, I'm thinking about booking you the whole day. I'm gonna get selfish.
You need to. You need to.
I still might. Yeah. I'm like, if it's even available.
So even down to the physical of tweaking yourself a little bit. That's like a part. That's an essence.
On a permanent aspect too. Like we're talking about permanent aspects as well. Like the last tattoo I have is a snail, right? That I have from Artsy Ash.
That was the ball. That was the get what you get. I gotta get what you get too.
Which one did you get again?
It's here. I don't know if I could show it.
Was it like
It's the cherry blossom.
Oh yes. Oh, I love them. I love them so much. I remember I was like, I wrote on like the TikTok. I'm like, I love that for her so much when she posted it. I was like, cause you were like rogue too. Like nobody knew where you were at. I was like, I know that's Lori. I see her. I know it. I know what that's about. I love that for her.
Posted it.
Yeah, I seen it and I commented on it and I was like, I like that a lot for you specifically, like the medicine that's in that. I'm like, ooh, it's so like when I went to when I put the quarter in, I just prayed. I said, you know, Spirit, if you could just give me whatever medicine I need, even if I don't understand it, if you can just give me the medicine that I need right now to like.
That's dope. You want to hear what I said?
What'd you say? What'd you say? Give it some nice.
I said, man, if this one is big and expensive, I got to put this back because she has the re-roll. So I said, please don't let it be too big because I had already spent the grip on color in my back. So I was like, I want to get more. Like I wasn't done. Something about tattoos, like if it's like it was a 4 Ashley, correct me if I'm wrong, but I went to color my peacock on my back, and it was like 4 or 5 hour session, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was it. Like I need more. Like I need not even just for the look. Like I like that's therapy to me for some reason. I don't know, when I'm getting tatted, like
It's a
I'm
physical
almost like in a
integration.
meditative state, and nobody really understands
I
that when I
understand
say
that.
it. Thank you for
100%.
understanding.
That's
Because
why I get
people look at me
tattoos.
like, "What? It's painful. What's wrong with you?" And
That's
it's
why I
like,
get
I don't
tattoos.
feel that pain. I
It's a
feel
physical integration of whatever you're going through in that moment. You're like,
I was
you're
ready
like,
for more. After 4+ hours, I'm like, damn, give me. I have to do that. I have to do the get what you get because I need more. I'm not done with you. But I was hoping it wasn't that big because money wise, financial wise, but it ended up being the exact
Perfect,
size,
yeah.
the perfect size,
That's beautiful.
exactly what I needed.
well, Spirit already had you. You didn't even have to worry about it. You know, I said what I said, and I looked at the snail, and I was just like, do I want this
Shout out to
snail?
Kenny too.
Like, do I want this snail right now? Like, am I happy with this? And then I'm like, it looked mad cute, but I'm like, do I want a snail tattooed on me? And then I'm like, my ADHD ass needs this snail tattoo.
Slow down.
It's
sis.
like
that was your
exactly.
message, to slow it down.
Exactly. And that's something my elder always says to me, like literally every time he sees me, he's like, slow down, Mia.
Mom says the same thing to me.
Cause I'd be like getting hype and passionate, I'd be like, and then I'm like, I don't even. And he's like, what did you even say? I'm like, I don't even know. He's like, slow down, I'm like, take a breath. He'll be like, take a breath. I'd be like, I like low key get offended, but I do it anyway. I'm like, all right, take a breath, yeah. And I'm like, nah, you're right though, cause I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I was doing. I don't even know how I got here. You know, I feel like since I have this snail tattoo, though, I really have been slowed down. I really feel like I've been so much calmer in a lot of ways, more than one. Like, even, like, just, like, freaking crazy things have been happening, too, like, in the time period of, like, you know, I was driving in like, the really bad storm. That
I remember.
Yeah, like the other day, a few weeks ago, I was driving. I was so calm. The Moravian Cemetery, the water was pouring out. Like when I tell you, like the in the street, it was almost up to like my door handle. It was so intense. I had to swerve to the center of the road, and I was so calm. I was just listening to Travis Scott. You know what I mean? Just like low. It wasn't a hype song. It was like a calm song. It was like a first take. You know. First take, you ain't no time, you bullet. You know, that's like, so I'm just driving calm, and I'm like, yo, aren't I triggered? Like, there's so many elements to my life and my reality and why I would be triggered in that. I was just calm.
Because at some point you recalibrated. You said, okay, I know my trigger. I'm aware of my trigger.
That's a point right there. That's
you're
important
aware
right
of
there.
it. And you just tweak how you react to it. You tweak your response.
So, sis, you brought up a really good point right there.
Good. I'm
right?
glad you sat up. Hold up. Let me adjust myself too. Let me sit up.
So I'm like,
this is
right,
good. We about to get to it. Let me get a sip first.
No, for real. No, same. I want to take a cheers with you before I'm done. Kenny, cheers. Cheers
Everybody
to good health. You know, to amazing things and blessings in each one of our lives. May we continue to make space and uncover the deeper truths within ourselves and share that medicine with the world.
That part. I had to say it in my voice. That was the bubble. Yeah,
That's the bubble.
that
That part right there. Yeah, like, oh my goodness. Like, that's something that... You know, I think we were talking about it.
We might have. We
talk about a lot of things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were talking about this the other day. But there was a situation recently that had happened, like maybe like a month, 2 months, probably like 2 months ago, maybe even 3 now. I don't know. Time is weird. So, where I got triggered by something. I got triggered by, you know, like, I got triggered by a shirt, you know, and I would like ask myself, like, do I want to mention this? Like, do I want to mention my trigger? Like, because now I feel stupid that I'm triggered by it. But I did, and I mentioned it, you know? And once I mentioned my trigger and, like, it was respected and, like, honored and, like, you know, like, I naturally made a joke, like, oh, you trying to? Like, you know, whatever. But even just acknowledging it outside of my own head, ever since then, exactly what triggered me on that shirt has like ceased to exist in my reality.
You
Like,
released it. You let it go.
recalibrated from it, released it, and then recalibrated. So it's not that I'm not, the exposure to what I was triggered to is not around. It's literally around. It's outside my door when I go outside, literally. And like, I'm just like, I really don't give a shit. Like, but it's like genuine not give a shit. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to not. It's like, I don't care. And it's really cool because I feel like, if anything, when you recalibrate, when you're constantly recalibrating, not constantly, but when you're recalibrating when you're supposed to recalibrate, you are really able to let go of things more than like when you have these big purges. Like, a lot of times you have these big purges, they're needed, but sometimes they come back in other ways because it's so intense and you don't even know what you're letting go and what you're adjusting to and these different things. But when you recalibrate, you know exactly what you did. You know exactly. It's like a really little, like a detail. You know, it's not a whole topic. It's a detail. And when it's, sometimes I notice from my brain, at least, like in my mind, like it works almost better that way, when it's like the little things they say all the time too, like just do something, do a little thing a day. You know, you want to clean a room, okay, just clean one thing, just do one thing, you know. And it's like, sometimes you're like, nah, I want to do it all right now, like I don't want to, like, all or nothing. But it's, you know, it's like that stretch, it's like that in between. When you're recalibrating, it's maintenance, so that you don't have to
You
do.
literally took the word. I was waiting for you to finish so I can say it's maintenance.
You passed
That's
it to
what
me.
it is.
It's maintenance. It's literally like, it's like, you know, getting your car washed or something, or like going to the vacuum thing, you know, at the quarters, and in between getting your car washed, so it's not like so built up. You know, it's the Swiffer in between the mop sessions. You know,
Coming through with the metaphors today. I love it.
it's like one of my things I realized. I'm like, I didn't realize I speak in. People tell me that I speak in, you know, in riddles, and like I low key get offended by that, but not as much anymore, because
like
now I'm like,
punchlines,
I actually speak in metaphors.
You spitting bars,
Not even
sis.
riddles, it's metaphors. I feel like if people just say it like that, I won't be triggered. You know what I mean? Like, but now that I'm saying that, I probably won't be triggered even the next time that they say it, because
So wait,
acknowledgement.
a question.
Yes.
A question. Do you feel it's important? You said that when you spoke on your trigger, you spoke it, you said its name out aloud, right? Do you feel like when you speak it, it's easier to like digest? Do you feel like it's necessary to speak it aloud? You know what I'm saying? Because you can be aware of a trigger, but what you said is when you spoke it, that's when you felt the shift. That's when you felt the difference in your energy.
Yeah, because I was honest with myself, and it was something embarrassing too. Like, it was like, what the fuck? Why am I still like affected by this? But once I said it, I was like, it without, and like I, of course I judged myself mildly, and then after that, it was also like sharing in a safe space. So whether that's a notebook, or whether that's, you know, with someone, or with therapists, or with a friend, or with a family member, whoever it was, like, you know, like for me it was like I just like, I felt like you just know when to. You know, when you feel like, oh, I don't know, that's probably one. When you're like, I feel afraid that I'm going to be judged by saying this. Even because it's like, because I feel like it was a few elements to it. It was just the right time for me, you know, because rather than just internalizing it and being embarrassed that something is triggering me, just being like, yeah, this triggered me.
Owning it.
Yeah, like this triggered me.
It
Why'd you put
so
that
liberating.
in my face? Definitely did. In the moment, I was like,
vulnerable, raw.
Yeah,
I'm
super
sure.
raw. Like, I was like, wow, I'm telling, you know, this person that I have feelings for, that I'm triggered by something that they're doing. And, you know, this is like, you know, especially like super vulnerable, because especially in the beginning of things, you know, and then you realize like, well, the more I am honest with myself and with this person, the realer it's going to be. You know, and it's like, it saves you time and space of like the games, the illusions, the people pleasing. Like, when you're just like, yo, here's me in my raw state. Like, here's what's going on. You're either gonna like, how are you gonna respond to that? You know, how am I gonna respond to that? And yeah, so it's just, yeah, it was especially hard because it was that. but it was good. It was super liberating, and I feel so proud of myself because I notice it every day. Like I haven't even really full on shared it, you know, with anyone really. I think maybe you, because we were on the phone, right? That happened when we were on the phone. But like other than that, I've just been like, that's how I know too when I'm really proud of myself about something. I don't really talk about it as much.
I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
I feel sometimes when I accomplish something, whether it be something that's tangible that you can see or something just within myself, growth within myself, right? Whenever I accomplish something, I'm not quick to like scream it from the rooftops because I almost feel protective of it.
Of your peace.
Like I feel like I need to first understand every aspect of it and really like have my I want to say game plan, but that doesn't apply to everything that I'm talking about. But I feel like I need to protect that energy first and understand it and be able to really integrate it, you know, with this new Lori 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Whatever situation that I'm talking about, whatever accomplishment or goal that I've reached, I definitely always bring it into self and just sit with it for a minute before I just expose it to everybody, because I feel like then it's you're allowing outside energy to it can interfere with it.
Absolutely.
Or it can put
especially in like raw states.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even unintentionally, you know, like you share your triumphs on Instagram because you want to share it. You're proud of it. You know, it's a happy moment in your life. So of course you want to put it out there.
There's gonna be at least 5 people that are like, why not me?
And sometimes even it's unintentional. Sometimes that energy comes in so intrusive without that person really meaning harm. Yep. But it still
that's most of the time.
It will mess with you.
That's most of the time too, especially because it, like, you know, like Tiana Taylor said it best, like it be the ones, right? It be the ones that you look up to, it be the ones that you're closest to. And the thing is like people don't understand what mal de ojo is, or like the evil eye really is. It's not the person really, like it can be the person who's sitting in front of a cauldron with a black candle, taking cemetery dirt, you know, it could be that person who's doing all the most to do things to you. Yes, that could be evil eye, but really that's like brujeria, that's witchcraft at you. Evil eye is really that feeling when somebody doesn't take accountability for their own feelings and projects it onto you. So that could be someone, that could be your brother, your sister, it could be your mother, unfortunately. It could be anybody. Like it could really be anybody. Or it could be your close friend, whoever. It could be someone who's completely distant that looks at you and be like, why not me? Like, why can't I have that? Like, that's the evil eye, you know, look and be like, oh, that person shouldn't even be with that person. That person should be with me. Like all these different things that come into these like things are like, or even people that like say they like you know, and they're like, I want to be with that person. People be having full-blown relationships with people in their minds, you know what I'm saying? And it's like there's so many different things that happen, and they're thought forms. So like I think the routine thing to do is like the only way it can affect you is if you have vulnerable weak spots or blind spots rather. And the thing is, we're human. We're not always, you know, on it 100% of the time. So we're innately going to have these little blind spots where they kind of find nook in. And that's where, you know, our insecurities get the best of us, or our traumas reside and things of that sort. And that's why it's important, you know, like even when you're posting things, to just like put a little protection prayer, you know, keep a little something, you know, may it only reach the eyes of people who are, you know, genuinely happy with their lives, so that they can be genuinely happy with theirs. The thing is, if someone's not genuinely happy with their life, they're going to innately give you evil eye if you're genuinely happy with your life and you're talking about it with them. And whether they mean to or not, they can have so much love for you. But because they're going through their anytime if you talk to anybody that has to do with any kind of I find that this is like one of the most common ones, romantically, right? Like if they're like a person who really wants love, really struggles with love, is going through a breakup or is in a relationship, whatever it is that's unfulfilling to them, and you are sharing with them like, wow, like, you know, like I'm starting something, or I'm doing something, or I'm really in love with this person, this, that, that, you see it in their face. Like you physically see it in their face that they might want to be happy for you, but they are like mad that
They're
they
in the
don't have
darkness
it.
themselves.
And,
Yeah, so they're
and it
on
doesn't
the
even
outside
have to
looking
be
in with the puppy dog eyes. Like,
exactly. And it doesn't even have to be like, oh wow, this is wrong. That's not. No, they could literally be thinking in their head like, why can't I have this love that this person so? And that's already sucking from you. So you got to be mindful if you feel it. Like, you pay attention to who claps for you and who doesn't, and don't take it personal. That's the hard part. You can notice it, but don't take it personal, because that's them
Hold
and their
space
own
and compassion
struggles.
for everybody.
Exactly.
You're going through your own thing.
And keep the space.
Keep the space.
That's the important part.
Hold
Like stiff arms.
It's like has to
like
be balanced.
it's just
like,
yeah.
I see you,
exactly.
and you stay over there.
It's like, I love you over there, not
Yeah.
close to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm noticing even right now in my life has been like, you know, you go through these series of different things. Oh, that would be great.
I felt it just now.
That would be great. Yeah. I'm like, what's the topic at hand too? Oh, thank you. But yeah, it's like, I'm noticing at this point in my life, there was this thing I was just reading. It's like, you don't actually lose friends. You just get a better understanding with who's actually your friend. And that's
recalibrating your circle, sis.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
That's
crazy how
recalibrating your circle.
you literally can, you not even that you can, you need to recalibrate and fine tune all these aspects of your life. And what the difference is, you said something about a purge, right? That's like the extreme. That's doing everything all at once. The difference with recalibrating is literally taking it like category by category, or
It's like focusing on little, on each
doing the
areas.
detail in each area,
Yes.
little bit, little by little.
It's very important, and I think it's really great, and something that we all should encourage each other to do when we see each other doing, like, oh, maybe think about that for a second. Maybe fine tune that. What could be better in your life? Instead of being like, how do you want to change your life? Where do you see your life? What could you do in your life? You know, ask yourself.
What's the small little task you
What's
can do?
the little thing you can do? Yeah. What's the little thing you can do in your life that could help you? Like, maybe what's the chord that's out of tune that needs a little, a little, and what and what is your tuner? You know what I mean? Like,
What's the standard?
what's the standard, and what do you need to do in order to figure out what's out of base? Like, is it sitting with yourself for a second? Is it going for a walk? You know, is it smoking a bogey? Like, you know, like, it could be whatever. Don't judge yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's important
Like,
too. Don't judge yourself. Like, it's not gonna look the same as what society's telling you. Like, don't look at Instagram and say, "Oh my gosh, this person's on vacation. She looks happy. That's what I need to do. I need to go on vacation. I need to be there." That's not gonna attract nothing. That's not gonna attract nothing. That's not the same. That's not what you need. That's not your my recalibration is not your recalibration. That's not your standard. Your standard, only you know your standard.
Yep. And it's always gonna change too. I feel like, you know, like when I went to Jamaica, that was a recalibration for me. But then I also came back and I had to go upstate, and that was also a recalibration. And then there was another thing that was a recalibration. There's so many different things that were recalibrating.
Sometimes you need to recalibrate the recalibration.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to go back and say, okay, I tweaked it for the trip. I need to tweak it back for New York energy now.
If people are doing, like, you know, if anybody, I was thinking about this the other day. If people make like drinking games from these podcasts, and they chose recalibration as a word.
Oh man, y'all are twisted right now.
You know, I'm just gonna say, good luck. Maybe have some water. Maybe do ginger shots instead. That's still gonna mess you up though. You're gonna take it from I'm healthy to like you're gonna be hitting the bathroom, but you know, that's another thing. Maybe you need to have that kind of recalibration. Who am I to tell you what to do and how to live your life? But I think that one of the best recalibrations that I've been doing is like anytime that I find myself being judgmental, I recalibrate back to a neutral space.
That's a good one.
In conversation and or even just watching things or seeing things happen. It's like if I feel myself be like, yo, why is that person doing that? Like, why they know that's not good for them, or like, or whatever the case is. Like, we all have that in us. Like, if we just be honest with ourselves, then other people can be like, wow, but you're so spiritual and nice. I can't believe you have thoughts and pure thoughts like that. Like, absolutely.
You're human.
I'm a human being.
I wrote that on my post. I'm a whole human being. A whole human being.
Human being. B-A-N. But yeah, for real. Like, it's like once you are able to do that and like take the aspect, like, you know, hold the pedestal or whatever. And it's like, you know, you go back to that neutral. Every time you start, once you start like fishing around, like wondering what people are thinking and stuff like that, even that's when you pause, recalibrate. Why the fuck am I in someone's head?
Elaborate when you say go back to neutral. Like, what are you telling yourself when you feel yourself being even the slightest bit judgmental? What is neutral for you? What do you like? What do you say to snap yourself? So I want
to shout out to Ariel, because it's like what I do is kind of inspired by something she had said to me before. Where she'll be like, what are you doing over there? Get your ass over here, like to yourself in your head.
That's
like,
what you say to yourself.
Like I'll be like, what are you doing? Is that any of your business?
Girl, what is you doing?
Why are you you're all the way over there in that person's head? You don't know what the fuck is going on there. Even if you did, is that your business? What is your business? Back in your head. So bring it back.
That's neutral for you. I like
that.
And
then because I have to just be like literally to myself in my head. I'm like intense
and then bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back in.
Yeah, because I like hear myself. I'll hear myself in my head. Like, say I'm watching something, and I'm just like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, why are people like this? Like, I don't fucking understand how people are like this. This shit is so dumb. And then I'll be like, either I make the decision, like, okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to take my attention away from it. Because I don't want to be giving anyone an evil eye. I don't want to be giving anyone negativity. So I'm either going to remove myself or I'm going to be like, what are you doing, sis? Like, what? Why is that any of your concern? Don't you have other things to be worried about? Aren't you over here watching this because you disassociating from something too? So you're going to judge yourself too?
Oh.
And then I have to check myself, because then I'll judge myself OD.
That's like a whole, yes.
And then I have to.
New topic.
And you have to do that with yourself too when you're judging yourself. I'll be like, you know what I do with myself? When I start judging myself, I just start laughing. I'll be like, bitch, shut up. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, oh, okay. Like, oh, this, that, and the third. Like, I did that like 5 times during this episode. Every time it goes zoomed in on me, I'm like, oh shit, look at my flyaways, like this, that, and third. Fuck, damn it. I don't like the way this, like, look on this side and that side, blah, blah. And then I'm just like, bitch, shut up.
What's really important to remember is that this is like a lifelong thing. Like you said, people see you and you're a healer and you're spiritual, and they have these expectations that you are perfect, right? That you have no flaws, that you know all your faults, right? But it's like a life, like you evolve, you change, Absolutely. You tweak, you have to, it's on a constant basis. The maintenance needed and the recalibration and the tweaking, and you're evolving constantly. It's a lifelong thing.
I also think it's important for, like, not only because it's, you know, I know it's not only with me and with other people. Like, people do that, you know, where they put people on pedestal. Like, I just want to remind y'all, like, I never asked to be on that pedestal. I'm going to disappoint you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to disappoint you if you think that I'm personally. I'm like, it's exactly like, it's like, I'm gonna say things that's gonna make you cringe and make you wonder if anything that I do is valid because you put me to a certain standard. So it's like, when you do that, also ask yourself why you're doing that to people. You know what I'm saying? Why are you like dehumanizing somebody? You know what I mean?
We're all desensitized, really. We're all. Society has brainwashed us to think that everything
has to
be
one
perfect.
way,
has to be one way. Like there's one standard, and it's a cookie cutter box for everybody to fit in.
That shit, like bend the metal and then make it a weird shape, and then be like, "Fuck you, this is my cookie."
I think growing and maturing and really becoming an adult and into my own has been so liberating to know that we're all like human. We all have our mistakes. We all go through our shit. Nobody is perfect. And it's okay. Like, it's okay wherever you are in your life, whatever journey you're on, whatever path you see yourself taking. Yeah. It's not all okay. There are really genuinely some bad things and bad decisions and bad people. I don't want my words to be taken out of context. But what I'm saying is that it's beautiful to hold space for people that are still coming into their own, and to be able to see myself still coming into my own, and to be able to take that time to tweak and say, okay, I could be doing this better, and to see you take that time for yourself. You know, that's such a beautiful experience and moment to see somebody realize that within themselves, for themselves, and take it upon themselves to do what they need to do for it.
Yeah.
You know, and not judge them or you know, have harsh feelings like, oh my gosh, I haven't spoken to my friend in so long. I'm genuinely happy I haven't spoken to my friend in so long because I know they're doing what they need to do for themselves and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important to hold compassion for those, you know, those periods of hiatus and those
And
dark
silence,
and
yeah.
silence and that solitude. I think everybody should have that.
Yeah. For
I think
sure.
it's so needed to just
Big on the
come
not
within
take
yourself.
it personal part.
Not take it personal.
And rather just hold that space. You know, it's like
space.
if space is being given, then just hold it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it there. Like you trying to break space open when it's not. It's like usually because it's an urgency that's usually coming from some kind of wounded part of you. Because if that space is happening, it's meant to be there. Like that's all hard lesson I've learned over and over again. When things have given me space, or places or people or events or whatever the cases have given space, and I've tried to project why, I've only hurt myself. I've only taken myself out of what was ultimately for me, and that space was for me. So even if it hurt, like I have a friendship, and you know, in these friendships that, like, you know, there's space that's given, it's either a recalibration is happening or an avoiding of that recalibration is happening. So that means that either way, you shouldn't be a part of that space. So if that person's recalibrating, you respect that, you give them space. And if they're not and they're doing the opposite, you respect it and you give it space, because either way it could be harmful to you to interfere with. And that could happen, dude. That could be with groups of people. That could be like, oh, you have a group of friends and all of a sudden they stop hitting you up. Like, I feel like we all go through that as like kids, teenagers, young adults. You know, and then we're like, but why? Like, why is that not in alignment? If things are missing you, that's because you're not supposed to be there with it. So that's when you sit and you ask yourself, well, am I doing everything I need to do? Or yes, I am doing what I need to do. Maybe that's not for me anymore. And you realize in your recalibration, I feel like in recalibrating yourself, you get to realize what fits and what doesn't anymore in a way that's a lot more digestible than when you're like looking at the bigger picture in these big purges, you know, like you're saying, we're like, oh my God, no, I need to hold on to this. I can make it fit. I can do this.
That hit my throat just now.
Because when we try to force things, it's just like things break when you try to force it. But when you just slip it on, you know, like Cinderella slipper. That's it.
I needed that comedic relief.
Yeah,
you seen
like
it.
For real, like, you know, it's just like you don't want to be one of the stepsisters. You want to be, you know, if you're Cinderella, you're Cinderella. If you're not, then
you're not.
You have
that
a different slipper
not
somewhere
fit.
else.
That,
Yeah,
it's not for you.
It's gonna break glass on your toe. Now you're bleeding. Dangerous. Dangerous. But for real, like listen, like, you mean, like a freaking stutter, but it's okay. Cause even when you know you're spastic, you just recalibrate and you come back.
Center yourself. That's all it is.
You find
coming
yourself.
into yourself, finding yourself.
It's like, you know, they have it even with your phone. When you have your phone and you are like trying to do GPS and you gotta do like the figure eight.
You have to literally,
and you gotta be like, maybe do that with yourself.
You have to find your direction.
You gotta walk in an infinity sign.
And the thing is that because I'm turned this way, north is still here, but I have to recalibrate myself to find north.
You gotta go back to north. North is still gonna be north.
You get what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? In my head, it makes sense. I don't know.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense because if you're trying to go north, right, but you're walking this way, you got to be like, wait, where's north?
There's a wall here, so I can't go this way. I got to turn this way.
So you got to go around.
But then you have to just recalibrate yourself to find your true north. Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. That hit.
Yeah. Okay. When you said it like that, it's like this wall, because I'm looking at this wall and I'm like, yeah, there is a wall. And if I was to go straight, I can't go straight that way. I would have to go around the wall.
Have to tweak it a little bit.
So that's something important too, to note. Like sometimes when you are recalibrating, it could look like you have to go off to come back.
I didn't even think about it like that. But
you spit it like that, and that's how I picked it up.
And that's how I picked it up. You
Yeah.
received it.
Yeah,
I like that.
for sure. Well, I feel like if you're ready,
What we do?
do some recalibration. We could do a little
Let's get it.
bowl singing, recalibrating. You want to start where I'll start with crown. I'll play her. You start with heart. You'll play her, and then we'll pass them.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, so to anybody who would like to receive, we are going to play crown chakra crystal healing bowl and the heart chakra crystal healing bowl to recalibrate our mind with our heart center being the thing that ties together all of the things in our being and our body, our mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. It's the bridge from the upper chakras, the lower chakras, to the higher energies, to the lower energies, to the survival, to the metaphysical, earth, all things. You know what I'm saying? On a very like neutral note, it just brings you into your body and clears your mind. So that's what we're doing. We're bringing ourselves into our body, into our like upper body, you know? So we're not in that survival, but we're in a space of love and then clearing our mind. But before we get into that, let's read what today's thingy is, today's peace of mind. Today is the 6th.
Yes, it is. Can I read it?
Yes, please. I was going to ask you. Are you tripping on my words? And I know you're a really good reader. I used to dread when it was my turn. You know, in school.
Yeah,
Like,
I used to count down and then like kind of practice in my head like, this is what I gotta read.
Yeah, that would happen, and then they would like change it,
And then they would change it.
Yeah, and I would be like,
that's because it was supposed to. It was meant to test you and challenge you. All right, October 6th. Your best work often comes from patient dedication to something designed to last over time. Rome wasn't built in a day. The ceiling of the Sistine Chapel is the result of years of work. Barns built centuries ago still stand firm. And the finest and most brilliant gems are the result of hours of study, cutting, and polishing. The desire to have things done quickly can prevent them from being done thoroughly. For example, those in recovery programs such as Alcoholics Anonymous learn from their first meeting that putting away the bottle won't instantly solve all their problems. They hear the life stories of others who talk about their years of recovery. They read the 12 steps and begin to recognize that the personal work and growth involved will never be accomplished in 12 days. But to paraphrase a familiar quote, good things can come to those who take their time. To master anything, from a company report to a personal recovery program, requires long hours and dedication. Today, try to work on something without setting a deadline. Sometimes eliminating the pressure and time frame to get something done can bring about results that will make you proudest. Today, I will work on one thing patiently and thoroughly, knowing the results will be better with time. Tell me that doesn't hit to recalibrating and focusing on one tiny thing for the long run. Right? Doesn't that coincide?
This book always does this.
That was beautiful. Thank you for that message.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, the book. And it's a random place that I got it from. I don't even remember where I got it. Oh, I got that from someone was like selling. There was a yard sale.
I love yard sales.
And there was books and books and books and books. And I'm digging in these barrels and like, not barrels, boxes, barrels. Anyway, that's where I found that.
Shout out to Amy Dean.
It had to, yeah. Shout out to Amy. I'm like, when I opened it up and it was split on my birthday. I was like, all right.
Oh no, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all the sign you needed.
And a little spray.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Oh, it smells so good.
This is sage and cedar mist. So all of those who are tuned in, if you could find a comfortable seat and just flutter your eyes closed. Take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. You could set your intention for protection, for prayer, for whatever it is that you feel you need in this moment to feel safe, to feel comfortable wherever you are, and allow yourself to receive the medicine from the vibration of these bowls in a good way. Oh. Releasing the tension from your head, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your belly, your hips, your arms, your wrists, your hands, your legs, your knees, your calves, your feet, and anywhere else you feel you need to release tension. And allow yourself to clear your mind and open your heart.
She sounded so different when you played her.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how our energy makes the sound different.
It really is. Mm.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in, for having your morning cup of tea with us, and receiving these vibrations that take you to the bowls and to everything that made these podcasts possible. These podcasts. You guys know what I mean. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for thank you for bringing Heart back.
Everything happened exactly how it should.
Everything when it should.
Exactly when it should. Everything we said. Take what, like you say, take what you, what do you say? Take what you need, leave what you don't.
Take whatever resonates and leave whatever doesn't. Yeah. And happy recalibration, everybody.
Yes.
Have a great day. Bye.